That's fine. But take your shot for profit. 07. Yeah. So I was thinking last night, I think it was because I was writing this before watching The Bad Batch because it was 1 a.m. and I had to stay up for another hour. I was like, I'm not gonna go lay down. Like, I'm up, I'm ready. But I was thinking, like, oh, would it be interesting if while Teshin is inside here, like on the sentient ship, the operator is just wrecking shit. Like, that's why Era says, like, oh, Mother is gone, Pregasa, the mother ship. But then I realize he says that, like, before the new war even starts, so it doesn't make sense, unfortunately. Yeah, so sentient ship. Operator wants to go inside. Tessin refuses, stating that, like, the Orphix fields are disabling the warframe, so it's not a good idea. Which, I mean, if you played the Orphix Venom event, you could just take a Necromech, but it's the I digress, I guess. Like, maybe they adapted. Yeah, maybe I'll put that on there. Maybe Teshin has a line about the Orphix, basically about the Orphix Venom event and how ever since then the Sentients adapted it so they can't even take a Necromech in there, I guess. Yeah, maybe Teshin has a line about the fields being stronger than the last time. The Orphix Venom event. Yeah, being stronger. Like, basically, the Sentients have... What am I thinking of? The Sentients have improved their design. Such neither your Warframe or your Necromech. Close. Stop telling me I spelled this wrong. So essentially just adding that in of, like, just a little reason of why can't we enter, like, our Necromech could easily get in there. Like, if you played the Orphix Venom event, the Necromechs are fine. So it's weird. But, like, maybe just, like, one line have the design have improved. Yeah. Instead of design, the Sentients have improved their defenses, and as such, neither your Warframe or your Necromech can get close. Like, just, it would be a single line just to give that much more context on why Teshin is, no, you're not going in, operator. You stay out here with your Railjack, essentially. Okay, so he gets in, disabling the sentient energy locks. He encounters the weird Kuva mirror. Yeah, Teshin refuses to let Order signal. He decides to nudge the snares. Teshin jumps through the sentient portal and the screen goes dark. And then we open to... God. Also, I should add, the way I have this, like, laid out is, so I have notes under, and then the single break line is same character, so there's only one break here, versus when we're switching, like, character perspectives and, like, point of views, sort of, it's 2, just for my own, like, sanity, so I don't have to deal with, like, this. So I know at a glance, oh, we're moving to a different character, essentially. Oh, why are you not like this? Weird. So, like, this section is all Teshin, and then double line break. Oh, new character. Who's this? So it's like the eyes open. Veil's whisper lies into the mind of the wearer of Teshin, but he steals his mind against him, reciting the litany of the Dax. The Dax, which is really cool. That's no. Yeah, Teshin removes the veil before crashing to the ground. Era seizes this opportunity, saying he's just another one on the reject pile, essentially, and crushes his neck. He's dead. And then we get a new character, well, new, but the operator. So Lotus is withering away. Ballas takes her life essence through a kiss, most likely also fully taking control of Pregassa at this point, which is weird when you think about it. Wait a second, because if he's basically stealing her life essence. Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's control of Pregassa, why would he need it later? I'll say, if he took all of Lotus's life essence, why would he then allow Era to, put that essence into, Archon shards? But, no, it's just her life essence, and then she gets different life essence back from the Archons. That's fine. Yeah, the operator jumps into the warframe to save the Lotus, but it sees the operator has her firmly in their grasp. Ballas takes the Tenno's own paracesis, which we brought for some reason, cuts off the Lotus's hand, sending her careening into the portal. The operator sits back in horror, and then Ballas uses the paracesis to stab into the operator's back to send the devil back into hell as the screen distorts. That's Act 1. Whew. So Act 2, I have a disclaimer, because we're getting into the Drifter sections. So there are still a good amount of questions around the Drifter. So I did want to include a disclaimer of, hey, some of my questions and some of the things surrounding the Drifter may be explained with the Duviri paradox. So just that disclaimer of the Duviri paradox isn't out. Most likely these things will be explained, essentially. Yes, so we're taken back to the login menu, and then Ballas is monologuing about banishing the Tenno and taking over, using the Narmer Veils. And then we get a new character, and we got the Drifter. So the Tusk Bolt are approaching the Narmer outpost with a masked figure. Yeah, forces a Narmer Veil. So I was writing this a good before stream. I went live a bit early today because I was well, I'm ready. Yeah, so the Archon arrives chasing the figure back to the Volcor, has the body of Mag Prime, yet the head has a snake head. Yet the head has been replaced by a snake head with a yellow crystal embedded in the neck. So I'm not going to name her yet. The figure returns to their camp, a cave on Earth hiding the Orbiter inside. While inside the Orbiter, Ortis, now with a Sentinel form, with an owl Sentinel form, moves the mask of the mask figure, revealing them to be an older version of the Operator, the Drifter. Even though, technically speaking, the Operator and Drifter, despite looking different, chronologically are the same age. They're the same age. We got that. Consume Us. Oh, what an interesting song to skip to. Okay, time to cry. No, wait, no, I want to save this because it'll be... No, I'm saving that. We're going to go back. I'm saving this song until we get to the part because we're just about to get there. So I'm going to move you over so I can see clearly. There we go. So the Drifter sends to the heart of the Orbiter the transference room, where it is revealed a withering Eidolon, Lotus, sits upon the chair. How the Drifter got the Lotus? Hopefully... Did I miss a few words? The transference room, where it is revealed. How did I spell this so wrong? What? Drifter descends to the heart of the Orbiter. The transference room, where it is revealed to house a withering Eidolon Lotus. Nor. Wait. Yeah, transference room. Wait, is revealed. It is reveal. Where a withering. No, yeah, let's just do that. Get rid of all that and just say the transference room where withering Eidolon Lotus sits upon the chair. Okay, that's good. Yeah, figures nicknamed Drifter by Nora Knight. Yeah, Ortis expresses dismay at how they intend to Lotus alive. The Drifter calmly states that they know someone who can help. Know someone who can help in their endeavor. Yeah, I didn't think I spelled that right. Did I forget an A? I did. Okay. Acquiring a Corpus dropship to be able to move it more easily, they head to Fortuna. Calming Lee states. So you'll see some of like you'll see how I write. Like I'm not, like I sometimes have to like catch myself of like, is this what I want to say? Okay. That's what happens, and they turn away. Yeah. Can help in their endeavor. First, they need a Corpus dropship. System more freely. So we'll do a break. Then we get to Stolen Plates, which now it's a good idea to switch songs to this, because now we're getting his right. Oh man. Okay. The Drifter descends. So very fitting song right here while we're writing this. Might have accidental coincidence, Stay hydrated, as always. Descends into the decks of Fortuna. As the veiled Solaris sing of their salvations under Narmer's rule. So just this song appearing now, totally not a coincidence. So avoiding deacons and traveling through the events. I know! God damn it, I know. So you'll notice as I'm writing I'm sort of weird in like some words I use, like I'm from the US, but some words I use the British version of. So like traveling, I'll do like 2 L's. And I think Control F. Where's my Yeah. This was another word it caught me on because I'm used to saying, I don't know why, I'm used to doing amongst. Like with the extra U. I don't know. But like favorite, I don't put the extra U. It's certain words. And like it's like amongst, traveling with the extra L, and I think like aluminum. Sometimes I'll like, if I'm reading aluminum, I'll just go aluminium. I don't know. Or also writing. It's fucking weird. I don't know. But they travel through the vents. Traveling through the vents, seeing the fucking... They put veils on children. So before they reach the elevator, the Drifter is contacted by, is Little Duck an assassin or like a mercenary? She's an operative. Yeah, I guess by the Solaris United operative. Yeah, that's... Operative. Little Duck, who offers... Yeah, who offers to basically help get them. God, it's weird. Oh, PSA, PC crashes? Oh. Because there was a hotfix this morning. Oh, y'all can see it! Nice! PC crashes related to DirectX 12. Because I know there was a hotfix, so go down to DirectX 11. Oh, okay. Because I know there was a hotfix, and I think, God, it caught me so off guard with the hotfix notes of, like, fixed a bug that was... Oh, no, I want to pull this up because it was funny. Because I don't think I could get it word for word. Yeah, we did get a Varuna fix, which, sure, great. Yeah, fixed player becoming their K drive. Like, what the fuck does this mean? Though apparently it's still, you can still become a K drive. Like, God, that's so fucking funny. I don't know why, it just fucking, it got me. Yeah, who offers her assistance. Oh God, let's not do a run-on sentence, because I'm so notorious about, like, I can make, like, a super long sentence. Like, in high school, my average, like, sentence length was, like, okay, fit, like, 10 to 20 words. In college, I had a sentence go up to 30. I think I had, like, one sentence at, like... I think I had, like, a sentence that was, like, entirely, like, 50 words. Like, a grade schooler is like, oh, 50 words is a paragraph, and yet for me in college, 50 words was a sentence, and it was all grammatically correct and worked. And what, like, was it a long sentence? Yes, but it worked. Like, it was wild. Who offers her assistance? Ortis is reluctant, but the Drifter agrees. And Little Duck instructs them to take a K drive to spaceport. Yeah, to destroy a Narmer. That's how you spell that. Veil Factory. To destroy the Narmer Veil Factory there. Little Duck instructs the Drifter to don a veil to gain access to bypass security. Okay. To bypass security, which Ortis claims... Yeah, Ortis is like, oh my God, don't do that. Which gives the Drifter false memories of Lotus and Ballas. The gaslight device, essentially. Like, it should be noticed because people still get confused. It should be noted that the veils are not eternalism aware, as stated by D. Steve. The veils are targeting the body of the Tenno, or a drifter. It's sort of weird. It's targeting, like, our Tenno, so, like, it has the right body, wrong mind, essentially. Unaware that they have a different mind from a different timeline, we'll say. Oh, I like this. Ghost of Void. Yeah, I was thinking, like, I know this. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, it should be noted, the veils are not eternal aware, because people are still like, oh, why does the drifter, like, they're not the operator. Like, yeah, the veils, they're targeting the operator's body, which the drifter, they have the same body. They're the same person. They're just on two different timelines. So it's targeting okay, God, this is weird to explain. Like, the veils are targeting they have the right body. They have the wrong mind, essentially. So they're targeting the operator, which the veils are like, oh, this is the operator. This is them. Unaware that this is the operator from a different timeline. It's weird. Yeah, so, Lotus and Valis. Yeah, they unable to tell any more false memories. The drifter rips the veil off. Yeah, so they reach it, rips the veil off, and then proceeds to set off the alarms within the facility. Well, the alarms, or like the self-destruct. It's not very clear, but you know. Set off the self-destruct sequence, I guess. It's sort of weird. They reach the console and then they leave. This sets off the alarms, obviously. And the drifter has to fight their way out of the factory, where they, once they get outside, they take, well, I think, isn't it that, what am I thinking of? It's the thing of, like, Little Duck said, like, oh, I gotta ship Corpus tags. They take the Condor dropship provided by Little Duck and return. Return to the camp, which I believe I cannot see. Is there, because I know there's like a scene in between, right? No commentary, please. Love it. Love to see a run with no commentary. I could just skip to the scene I need. Near, that's that. Where's the Veil Factory? There it is. Because I think they returned to the camp. Nora congratulates, like, oh, Veilhead Factory was hit. So they do that. Yeah, Ordis doesn't want them to go to what they're doing, essentially. Okay. Turn to camp. Ordis, yeah, once back at the, no, so back at the camp, Ordis displays, or, yeah, displays discomfort in the drifters' plans for what they, for what they need. Drifters displays discomfort in the drifters' plans that they are following. Using the Condor dropship with the stolen Corpus tags, the drifter guides the ship to Uranus. So we're going into the stalker part. God damn it. Man, it's a lot. So I mean, we started like here-ish. So that's pretty good. Like, writing is a process. Gotta stay hydrated too. Yeah. So they're accosted by Disciple Ka Nuterus, Narmer forces, aided by, yeah. So the drifter journeys into the Grineer, now Narmer, base. Yeah, the Grineer, now Narmer base. Ass. Stop with the notifications. No. There we go. Okay, we got it. Drifter journeys into the Grineer, now Narmer base. And as they, I don't want to use descend again. As they make their way to the base, yeah, no, base. As they make their way into the base, they are aided. They are. How do I word this correct? How do I word this in a way that makes sense? As they make their way into the base, yeah, we'll put like her names. Ka Nuterus, Narmer forces try to intercept, destroy them. Yet a shadowy, a shadowy figure, the stalker, aids the drifter on their way to their goal. Yeah, well, Shadow Stalker. So we'll put his full name, even though he's still a bitch. Goal. Once there, Stalker drags Drifter before Hunhao with his God, what weapon does Stalker use? Fuck. I should know this. No, not the war. Not the war. His little scythe. Come on. His hate scythe. Okay, I see. So yeah, this is the enemy of enemies with his scythe. Hate. They both want the Lotus to be free. They form an unlikely alliance. And on how it explains like the Archons and how to fight it. Yeah. Hun Hao and the Drifter form an uneasy alliance based on their shared goal of setting Lotus free. Ballast and Era's influence. Ballast and Era's influence. Yeah. Would it be wrong to refer to Hun Hao as like sentient grandpa? I feel like that's a little much. No, we're leaving this in. This is funny. Explains the Archons and their different methods of like attack and their history as Era's creation, Abomination's creation. It's from the old war. Yeah, so the player, this is the part where most players are like, I don't need to know this, and then you get in the boss fight, it's like, I should have paid more attention. Me with Boreal. Fuck. Oh, that fight took me so long because I didn't realize. Yeah, so Archons, Boreal, Amar, and Naira. Yeah, have the crystals which may be used. Have crystals embedded in their bodies, which Hun Hao explains may be able to which are to raise dead sentience. Could be key to which are the key to raising dead sentience, which may work on Lotus. There you go. Yeah, Drifter goes to leave. Yeah, Drifter goes to leave. Hun Hao goes, that's it? Off you go to die. Okay. Yeah, Drifter goes to leave. And Hun Hao expresses anger at their willingness to die. Drifter strikes back of like, hey, old man, you're withering here. It's like, I'll gift you the Netherrealm. Hun Hao gifts the Drifter. What do you mean it's spelled wrong? The Netherrealm was basically one of the best bows in the game. Drifter, a sentient bow. The Netherrealm. In hopes of increasing their chances of survival and victory. Yeah, not just survival and victory. No, it's gifts. Why? The Hun Hao gifts the Drifter. Gifts and... oh, man. Sometimes the fucking... what is it? Autocorrect? Like, the spelling and grammar check is like... a better word would be gives. It's the same thing. He gifts it. He gives it, but it's also a gift. You can give someone something, you can also gift someone. A gift is both a noun and a verb. Google. Yeah, so... the Drifter... God, why can I not spell Drifter? I keep going like D-I-F. The Drifter then backtracks through the tunnels. I was gonna say through the tunnels of Uranus, but we're not. Through the halls of the Uranus base. And, like, gets acquainted with their new weapon. Yeah, Norma sentient interceptors. They leave the planet. Yeah, they leave the planet with homework. Yeah, Drifter gets back to the ship and expresses dismay at Han Hao having given them homework. Okay, so we're gonna need a 2-line break because now we're back to the operator. And then we do the wild hunt. And then it gets interesting because, like, oh, we have the 2 Archon fights. This is where it's going to get interesting and where I'm going to start breaking from the storyline in order to make things make more sense. So we're getting there. How many words are we at? I'm curious. I want to know. Wait, I don't have to do that. I could just do this. 1,754. Cool. Okay, so we're here. Yeah, so I know the Archon hunts. God, I went in planet order. So I went with Boreal first, then Amar, and then Naira was the Warframe one. But you'll be able to see how I change it if we get to it, which we should. Yeah, the scene cuts to a first-person view. Yeah. So a first-person cutscene begins to play. Where the view shifts from outside, from a window overlooking Saturn, this is very important, into a classroom board, the Zeramin 10-0. Why did I think of this sooner? I really should have put spoilers. Like, spoilers. Yeah, let's do that just to be, like, safe. I feel like that would be a good idea of just in our title, just, hey, spoilers! I'm literally recapping the entirety of the new war for this. So if you haven't played it, yeah. 10-0 ship. Yeah, Cephalon Melika, the teacher. Yeah, instructs the classroom, so they recite a pledge. The teacher. The students recite the pledge to the Orchid Empire. Before Cephalon Melika, the teacher, informs the students of a jump in the teaching schedule. So, like, going on to, like, a quiz. Like, they were learning about temporal axioms. So Melika goes over the concept of temporal axioms. That is how you spell that. And the concept and the idea. Temporal axioms of void travel and how it relates. Well, Melika plays an audio by Eularia Entrati, also Mother, that goes over the concept of temporal axioms of void travel and how it relates to the idea of eternalism. I'm going to capitalize eternalism because that is very, very important in this story. The temporal axioms. It's like, oh, the void, basically through the void, like, oh, the past, like, our current, the wrong perception of time travel is like, oh, we're forever locked in the present, versus eternalism of through the void, we can access the past. Like, I think it's the past and the future. Yeah, the principal failure of presentism, it considers the present to be the only reality. I think it's the future that's the... Wait a second. Yeah, the theories of time explain how multiple versions of reality coexist. The tyranny of the present absolute is overthrown. Tomorrow is now its equal. So, like, it's sort of weird that... Yeah, the theory that the future and the past are as real. Okay, so it is both. I was a little bit wrong there. Eternalism. So, under eternalism, through the void, both the past and future. Both the past reality and future possibilities. These are able to be explored or able to be accessed. This is very important. The students are given a quiz. Quiz upon completion. The speakers, goddammit, the speakers on the ship announce that the ship is going to make the jump to the Tau system. That should be capital. Yeah, so then something goes wrong. During this jump, something goes wrong. The screen cuts to black. I think it does, at least. So new character, we return to the Drifter again. Okay, now at the Wild Hunt. So this, I'm going to be a little more careful on my wording because this is up to the player of which Archon do you fight first. Also, I could totally, like, use these tags of, like, oh, temporal axioms, enemy of enemies, like, sort of, I could. Yeah, let's try that. So just... like, almost... You'll see how I'm rearranging this, like, of, like, call 176... sort of like a guide. I don't know. It's weird. So maybe I can do VSO-R here. I don't know if I like 1 or 2 spaces. I think 2. This is... yeah, operator intention, I'll say. I'm going to need 1 more line. Yeah, operator slash... yeah, it's sort of weird because it's... yeah, VSO-R. Yeah, Railjack section is like... sort of the big one there. Yeah, because I don't... Maybe we'll do one. Maybe we'll just... Yeah, we'll do this for now. Railjack. I guess just... unknown person. Because we don't know that it's Lotus. Operator. Yeah, Act 2, The Rise of Narmer. Yeah, so this is just this, so unknown figure. We don't know who they are yet. Yeah, now we know it's the Drifter. Or should I just call it the Drifter section? Because, I mean, it's close enough. Yeah, so, like, I guess Drifter's camp. God, can I fucking spell Drifter right the first time? Yeah, Drifter's camp. Stolen plates, because these are... Like, I guess this is a good way of, like, okay, this is this. What the fuck? Oh, I know what that is. That is one of my, like, first D&D characters, because I think her backstory was in these notes, like, down here, and I was just like, why? It was one of those things of, why is this here? So I copy and pasted it to its own document. The enemies. Stone plates. Then temporal axioms. Axioms. Okay, there we go. Then the Wild Hunt, which you cannot convince me Reb had no part in naming this quest, because she was playing Witcher 3. She was playing Witcher 3. There's no doubt in my mind Reb named this quest the Wild Hunt. Yeah, so the Drifter returns to the Orbiter and checks on Lotus. Still, we don't know how, like, the Drifter found the Lotus, got, like, knew what to do, like, for this. Knew what to do in the new war. Hopefully this will be answered in Duvir Paradox. Hopefully. Checks on Lotus. Hun Hao instructs the Drifter that they need to act fast and defeat the Archons. They are to have any hope of saving Lotus. Yeah, Ordis asks why the Drifter doesn't have void powers. It's like, oh, I don't have them yet. So they know they're gonna get the void powers. That's sort of the reason why the Duviri Paradox is a paradox. Because chronologically speaking, the Duviri Paradox happens before and after the New War. It's weird. Like, what makes it a paradox is Duviri Paradox for the Operator takes place after the New War. For the Drifter takes place before. So that's the paradox. Like, oh, how did the Drifter know what to do? Like, how did the Drifter know what to do in the New War? Well, the Operator lived it. They experienced the Drifter, like, doing it. And then, but it's so weird. Then the Operator goes sort of back in time, like, with that knowledge, tells the Drifter, like, this is speculation of, like, oh, what they did, and they're like, oh, now they know. It's so weird. It's the paradox. It's like the grandfather paradox of if you time travel, like, back to, like, your grandfather, like, before he has any kids, and kill him, what happens? Like, oh, you killed your grandfather. Like, okay, but then they don't have kids. You don't exist. But then you don't exist. You can't kill your... If you don't exist, there's no one to kill your grandfather. Theoretically, I guess also... Yeah, this would solve... Under Eternalism, the grandfather paradox would be solved. Because there'd be... Under Eternalism, basically, there'd be a future where you kill... There'd be a timeline where you kill your grandfather, but you still exist. So now you're a... It's weird. Paradoxes are fucking weird to think about. Yeah, Ordis asks why the Drifter... Or they keep... Ordis keeps slipping and saying, like, operator. It's like, don't call me that, responds the Drifter. Drifter doesn't use their void powers, in which they respond that they don't have them yet. Alright, so this is where we're gonna have to get vague. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to be a little vague here because the Archons can be fought in any order. It's just like the first 2 out of 3. The Drifter sets out to kill the Archons that are scattered across the origin system. Boreal on Earth. Amar on Mars. And this could probably be... And Naira on Jupiter. Set out 2 kills, sorry. Yeah, so... And this is... I'm looking at like how you killed them. It's like, I don't need that. Yeah, so I'll like go down more like... Yeah, spread across. 2 are required to progress. Yeah. So like the first Archon shard. Yeah, we'll break it into that. Like of Archon shard. Yeah, after facing the first Archon of choice, the Drifter is exhausted while the Archon starts to rise again. This is halted by the Stalker. Delivers the final blow. He rips out the Archon shard before offering it to the Drifter. Which I think during this part... Yes. Let me skip ahead in the VOD. Jesus. Like, thinking about, like, we're now... Like, this document, like, this is 2 hours into the quest. I forgot a part. Okay. So, I have to just put that there for now. Mikey is barking. I don't know at what. The Drifter makes their way towards the Archon fight. Era turns his attention. Yeah, Era turns his attention to the Drifter. The Drifter and comments about their the connection, he comments about like, oh, you have a, like, must have made a powerful friend to give you that weapon. They're curious weapons, and the connections they made to have gotten it. Hun Hao weapon, forgot that. Hun Hao steps in. I'm not spelling it wrong. Stop it. Just add it. Fucking stop it. I'm not spelling Hun Hao wrong. Yeah, they have me. Okay, Hun Hao steps in, rebukes Era, trying to make him come to his senses. Senses about Valis being a parasitic leech on the sentience. Era is enraged. Era's enraged, says like, no, we have victory, we have peace. Basically leaves it. Okay. Era becomes enraged at this prospect. God, this is so much. Yeah, Era becomes enraged at this prospect and reiterates his loyalty to the Narmer. And the peace that they have. And the peace that they have given to the galaxy. Given to the system. There we go. Is there anything, because I know there's 2 phases to the Archon fight. Yes. Yeah, Hun Hao's like, don't let the beast recover. Okay, then it's just the fight. Okay, cool. Okay. They take the shard, so jumping back, the Lotus, who readily absorbs it. Shard, which partially restores her form. Lotus then snaps at the Drifter, demanding more. Collapsing once again to the chair. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, then we cut back to the operator on the ship. Oh geez, this is so much. Like, I don't know, like, we've been ready for a fucking full hour, geez. But I mean, we've written how many words today? Of... Because I think I started here. Like, also this has a double space. I think I started here. So roughly 900 words? Not bad, actually. So, so after that, we cutting back to the Zariman, which this is a flashback. This isn't happening real time. Zero, the operator, is seen barricading the door to the classroom after the void jump has failed, stranding them in the limitless expanse of space and time. Good song. So like this, you can see, this is what I mean when I say my sentences can get long. Like cut it, like this is grammatically correct of cutting back to 010, comma, the operator seen barricading the door to the classroom after the void jump has failed, comma, stranding them in the limit. Like these are, like, this would be a full, like this is a full sentence, but like these sentences can't stand on their own. Yeah, so the operator consoles other Tenno or other children. Yeah, so the void, the void has infected the minds, the adults on board, and has driven them, them to attack. Driven them to seek blood. Through whatever means. No, to seek blood. What do you mean on board is wrong? I don't know. The operator consoles the other children in the room. Yeah, they console Taralee and Baron. And then picks up... No, they have the little lantern when they... Yeah, they have the lantern. They're holding it. They move to a figure... Well, to a child that is tapping the wall that leads on the wall, like the wall of the window, and offers their light and a chance to sit with the others. The figure turns to reveal Wally, to reveal operator, the man in the wall, who has taken the form, the operator. Like, they're like, thanks, kiddo. I think I will. Yeah, so we're gonna put some commas here. The man in the wall has taken the form of the operator. And they say, thanks, kiddo. I think I will. So we cut back to the second Archon shard. Yes. So we're on second, if I can spell, second Archon shard. Okay, make sure that's not bolded. Nice, nice, nice. This is the second dream? Hell yeah. Okay, cutting back, seen barricading the door. Da, 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 da. I think I will. That's like, so this is our operator's first interaction with the man in the wall. Okay. I gotta cut in the... So, yeah, second Archon shard. Wait, no, this is in its own paragraph. This is still the Wild Hunt. What? First Archon shard. Why is this, like, not its own thing? What? Because this is all technically under the Wild Hunt. Weird. Okay, we're just gonna unbold this. Second Archon shard. The Drifter makes their way to the next planet. of the Archon of Choice. And then yeah, Era remarks on how the Drifter seems familiar. Well, it's like, you're not just some lucky drifter, are you? While traversing the Archon base, Era comments, yeah, you're not just some lucky drifter. Yeah, on how comments the drifters, like, basically, like, you're not just some lucky drifter. It's weird. Comments how it is about to run out. Han Hao orders Era to call off the Archons to give the Lotus, his sister, a fighting chance. Okay, give your sister a second chance at freedom. Are you implying the truth? You haven't won. Yeah, you are a Dax in every way but name. Han Hao, like, points out how Era hasn't won anything. He is but a puppet to the Golden Lord's whims. Dax in every way but name. Yeah, second chance. You're trying to, and then Era says like, oh, you're trying to bring her back herself. Era remarks, or Era figures out on how the Drifter are trying to bring back the Lotus themselves. Or Nata themselves, we'll say. Nata themselves. I can spell. And states that it doesn't matter. So yeah, so we returned as Nata, purged, and then there's the fight. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so be returned as Nata, purged of 10 of lies and weakness. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Okay, should I make this its own paragraph? Yeah. Also, this needs to be, there it is. I was like, this feels weird. The Drifter delivers the final blow on the Archon and rips out the second shard. Okay, this is... Oh god, this is where... We're coming up on where my canon is going to diverge from, you know. Okay, let's make sure. Sure. Oh god. Okay, so having to think about this real quick. Yeah, so they take the shard back to Lotus, who absorbs it. If I can fucking spell. It's restored enough to leave the cradle. So I still like that little wordplay. not recognizing the drifter. She turns hostile and attempts to kill them. Yeah, it's like, oh, the Tenno lies. Yeah, this is where the drifter's like Zera, like I'm Tenno, Zeraman, all that. Okay, so this is, oh god, this is where it gets dicey, because this is a weird section on, this is where I'm gonna start diverging from the canon on if the shard gets her to 100%. Maybe. Well, she's obviously not 100% yet, but. Maybe she attempts, because, like, trying to make Era's turn more believable. Like, I need setup for that. And also, by giving it setup here, I'll be able to give setup for, like, oh, Era's now Pazul as an Archon himself. So, like, it'll make sense once we get there. But, attempt to kill them. Let's see. Once we get to the table scene is sort of the opening to Act 3. Sort of. You know. So we're getting there. But we want to save the third Archon. We're saving the third Archon for later. But I had an idea for like a Drifter versus Era confrontation, which would lead into like Era's more believable turn. How would we do that? If like Lotus is gone, they're tracking them. That could be an idea. Okay. I have an idea. We're going to see if this works. So I'll put like a disclaimer of this is where I will start diverging from the canon heavily. The storyline heavily, I'll say. Just as a little remark of, yes, maybe this will be like returning to the orbiter, returning to the camp. So it'll be its own little thing. Because like this would, in my mind, the reason I was so silent the past few minutes is just I was working out like how does this work of I want the Era fight, but how does I make it so like Lotus is still there? It's weird. Like I think it'd be cool, but we'll see. Hopefully this makes sense on why I'm doing this. But returning to the camp. So this we'd get like we'd rip out the Archon shards and then we'd get a cutscene. Essentially. The screen cuts to Balas's throne room. Basically, we'll see. We'll hope we can get this correct, or at least in a legible sense. The screen cuts to Balas's throne room. Balas presides over his map, like his domain, as Era enters the room. As Era enters the room beside him. So it's like, oh man, how do I explain what's going to happen here? Geez. The Golden Lord is fucking pissed. Like, he has figured out, like, basically why the Archons are dying. Has heard news of the Archons. The two Archons' demises, or has heard the news of the demise. The two Archons. Yeah, he's fucking pissed. Essentially. Oh man. Era attempts to appease Balas's anger. By telling him what has learned about Hun Hao's, about the drifters, about Hun Hao, and Hun Hao's intention feels right of using these shards to bring Lotus back, or Nata. Okay. Like, basically Balas will be like, like, Balas is pissed. He heard about, like, oh man, how do I put this? Because I do want to start, like, putting dialogue in here of, so, like, putting dialogue of Balas, like, anything you wish to tell me? Report upon? And just anything you wish, like, just Era enters and Balas is sitting there like, anything you wish to report upon? No? Like, silence from Era. So, okay, so this is gonna be, we're gonna get into a little dialogue. So Era is silent. Balas. No? Two dead Archons isn't worth a singular mention? Really now? Like, basically, oh man. So I'm gonna try to set up like it's like Era going, that may be the case, but we know what they're doing now. What the fuck? No, this is probably definitely copywritten. The playlist, okay, I see. The playlist ended and it went to like a playlist radio, but that song I think is definitely copyright. Whoopsies. But let's change. We'll go back to night mode for a bit. Okay, like two dead Archons isn't worth a singular mention. Really now. Like, two dead Archons isn't worth a singular mention. Really now. Looks like the creations model their creator this time. all failures. Era. Yeah. What does it matter? We know what they are trying to do now. We can prevent it. Yeah, we can prevent. Yeah, we can prevent them. It's like, yeah, prevent them how? How? Send the final Archon after them. To meet the same fate? Fate? No. I don't think so. Era, once again, is silent, just like basically, I'm trying to make it like, oh man, because like technically this scene does come later of where Era's like, what does it matter? We won. But I'm moving things around a little bit. Oh man. Yeah, send the final Archon after them to meet the same fate. No, I don't think so. They cannot have her. Or... no. Yeah, okay. I don't think so. Maybe instead of your failures. Yes, like Era going, what do you expect? Not that. What do you... No, I don't think so. What do you have in mind? Like, what do you have in mind for dealing with this threat? Or... God, I had the word in my head and now it's gone. What do you have in mind to stop this threat against your great empire? Yeah, your great empire. So the first cracks of like, yeah, he's seeing he's a puppet. Valis would be... I think that you need to prove yourself. Like, I think that you need to prove yourself. You will deal with this. This drifter. And bring her back to us. Control I. Her back to... What? No, come on. No, fuck. God damn it. I forget. Google... Oh, man. It's Microsoft Word that it's smart enough to be like, okay, if I click one word, I can bold the entire word. Google Docs isn't that smart. I think that you need to prove yourself. You deal with this drifter and bring her back to us. Yeah. Maybe if I turn you into an Archon. Maybe then... Yeah, maybe if I turn you into an Archon. Maybe then... you'll have some use to me. Finally have some more use to me. So like showing off that. Yeah. So it's like sort of anything you wish to report upon? No. 2 dead Archons isn't worth a single mention. Really now. Looks like the creations model their creator this time. Failures. Like, what does it matter? We know what they're trying to do now. We can prevent them. Prevent them how? Send the final Archon after them to meet the same fate? No, I don't think so. What do you have in mind to stop this threat against your great empire? Oh man. Like, this line may need to be rewritten a bit, but we'll see. What do you have in mind to stop this threat against your great empire? It's like, oh god, I know there's a better way to word, like, what do you have in mind? Ugh, I can't think of it now. Like, I think that you need to prove yourself. You will deal with this drifter and bring her back to us. Who knows? Maybe if I turn you into an Archon, maybe then you'll finally have some more use to me. Now get out of my sight, sort of. Now go deal with it. Now go deal with the situation that you caused. So we get that, like, cutscene. Like, sort of that first moment of Era going, oh fuck. So, like, at first he's loyal, like sort of planting the seeds before he, instead of just being like, oh yeah, he's just now turned, of like, have Ballas just be throwing his failures in front of him, going like, what the fuck is this? Like, really? Like, I thought I knew you. Actually, wait, I think I want to save this. Okay, I'm going to copy this line. Actually, let's highlight it, because I think I want to save it for a later, like, a later cutscene that I have, like, planned. Da-da-da-da. Bring her back to us. I have plans. Okay. So that happens. So we get that happening, and then returning to the camp, or not returning to the camp. This would be its own cutscene of, yeah, no, we'll keep that in Act 2, but then we'll go returning to the camp. So there's a reason this happens in this order of we return to the camp. Okay, so the reason this happens of like we get this cutscene is basically we're gonna rewrite this. We're gonna write this out. Sort of. Not really. So this will go down here. The Drifter returns to the camp. Because, like, it's quite a distance that they needed to fly, say from, like, Jupiter or whatever. Okay, returns to the camp. Upon approaching the settlement, they are surprised at Era to see who other than Era standing, admiring their home. This, I promise this will make sense. I promise it's gonna make sense, okay? Like, this is, yeah, so we are fully diverging from the storyline. We're going in, because I want to fight Era, because I think it'd be cool. It's like our operator, like, back here, like, bodies Era with their void powers. The Drifter doesn't have them yet. Admiring their home. So, Era. So this is where you have been hiding. So this is where the infamous, this is where you have been hiding. And I guess sort of the tone of his voice, he's not really referring to the Drifter, but referring to the Lotus. So I'll put that. Tone of voice. He is referring to Nata rather than the Drifter. Yeah, Drifter says nothing. So like the Drifter walks, like it'll be weird because you'd have to have like the ship land away. Ah, God, that'd be, no, wait, let me think. Because it'd have to be like it'd be like on the ship would be the surprise of, oh, surprise, Era's here, but like Era, we'd want room to fight him. Though it would also be interesting to be like a boss fight room of like we're in the transference room fighting Era and Lotus is like on the chair in the background. That'd be a cool fucking fight though. But I think I'd want it outside just for like my sake. I don't know. So this is where you have been hiding. Once a queen, now reduced. Once a queen. So that's basically the confirmation that we're getting that he's talking to Lotus of, this is where you've been hiding. Once a queen, now withering under the care of a child. Now withering. Child. So like Era referring to them as a child is funny because Drifter does not look like a child. Tell me, Drifter. Or like Era he turns to the Drifter. So tell me. What do you hope to do by bringing her back? She's not your Lotus anymore. Like she's not Nata. Like I don't know. It's like I think it's oh God. It's like it should be like it should be her choice. Or I don't know. That's a weird. It's like I know I have this like scene of like I want Era and the Drifter to fight. But it's the question of how do I get them to like fight from this? Which I think I can do. The care of a child. So I can remove this since I now know. Tell me, Drifter. Tell me, Drifter. Why are you doing this? Personal gain? Vendetta? I don't know. That's a weird way to word that. Trying to make sure that my music's not too loud. It looks good. Okay. Tell me, Drifter. What do you get out of all this? Or, no. God, how do I, like, lead up to a fight between them? Tell me, Drifter. Is it your life's goal to drag me into the mud? Or it's, because, like, I want Era to be angry at the Drifter right now. God, I had, like, the broad strokes of this fight and, like, the aftermath, like, planned out, and then I went to bed. And now I've, like, lost it. God damn it. This is why we write shit down! Tell me, Drifter. How come a rat or a Kuwaka, like a rat like you, who has no business messing with my affairs? Tell me, Drifter, how come a rat like you has no business messing with my affairs? Took down 2 Archons. me, Drifter. I'm a rat like you. Took down 2 Archons. And then maybe like Era just goes like, takes a pause of, I can show you no mercy. Show me none in return. No, but that's still a little too sudden. Man, I had this planned out and now it's just gone. Yeah, Drifter returns to camp. Upon approaching the settlement, they are surprised to see who other than Era standing, admiring their home. Or admiring, or, just looking at it. Era, so this is where you've been hiding. Now withering under the care of a child. Tell me, Drifter, and he turns to look at them. How come a rat like you, who has no business messing with my affairs, took down 2 Archons? Oh, this could be cool. That the Drifter says nothing, only starting to draw their bow back in anticipation. So, keep up the Era. Always so quick to violence. Alright then. I'll oblige. That's not how you spell that word. I'll oblige. Yeah, so Drifter says nothing. They start to draw their bow back. I want the Era versus Drifter fight. And then switching gears to, like, okay, we can still fight the 3rd Archon later because it's a tactical decision by Ballas to hide the 3rd Archon on the Mirax where the Drifter cannot get to them. And basically Ballas sends Era, like, succeed where your failures of creation have also failed. And that's where, like, we get that scene beforehand where, like, Ballas ripping into Era, like, fucking finish what your failures started. Like, finish them. And then Era versus the Drifter, and the Drifter overcomes them and is about to kill them when Era starts pleading for his fucking life. I guess. It'd be... like, it's sort of... God, because, like, I sort of want it to be inside the orbiter, so it's like, oh, like, in the fight, the shard gets close enough to Lotus where she absorbs it. No, what is it? No. I had it so... What am I saying? That the Drifter wins. I had it so Era got the upper hand and was choking out the Drifter. And that's when, instead of in the quest, like, oh, the Lotus attacks, like, and Ortis dies, and we get the, like, handshake between the operator and Drifter. This is where it happens. So it's weird. No, wait, but that still doesn't work. God damn it. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna have to be like a catwalk of, like, lines I have to toe of how do I make this make sense and have this make sense? Like, everything with Era, the Drifter, and Lotus. Because, like, theoretically, in this situation, Era versus Drifter, if they have to be able to win to get the shard to Lotus, so Lotus attacks them. Yeah, Lotus attacks them, and then we get the Void powers in the Drifter, so we get that handshake moment. But I also want it to be that Era's winning. Because the Drifter doesn't have the Void powers. Like, he knocks away the bow. Fucking, oh man, this is gonna be an interesting line to toe of how I can do the mental gymnastics to figure this out. Because I do also want Era to go back to Ballas one more time. Like, maybe the Drifter lets them go. And then Drifter lets Era go. Era goes back to Ballas, and Ballas rips into it. And then we get that line of, maybe if I turned you into an Archon, maybe then you'll finally have some use to me. Like, so that would happen then. So that would happen. But then Ballas, while ripping into Era, once again, like, oh, maybe I'll turn you into an Archon. Ballas is interrupted by seeing, like, the flash of Lotus. And then the Tenno. It's like, oh, fuck. So he's interrupted. Era sneaks off, essentially. We get the... Yeah, we get the scene between the Operator and the Drifter where they talk about Eternalism, all that shit. Also, this is totally like Act 3 at this point. Wait a second. No, it's after the Drifter and Era fight is when I want Act 3. Because it's weird. So, like, basically I'm making Act 2 a lot longer. Whoops. That's how it be. Yeah, always so quick to violence. Alright then, I'll oblige. If you want your death, I'll give it to you. Your death? Then I'll give it to you. Maybe the fight takes them into the Orbiter. And then we get that shard into Lotus. But, like, oh man, I want the Drifter. Because I was thinking, like, I want to, like, if the Drifter is winning. Man. But, like, I want... this is interesting, how I want to do this. I could have it so the fight takes them down into the Orbiter. Takes them down into the Orbiter where Lotus is. The shard gets, like, knocked over by Lotus. He absorbs it. And basically, both Era and the Drifter, like, back up because they're like, oh fuck, she's back, oh fuck. So we get that moment of, like, Era going, like, sister. And the Drifter going, Lotus. So we see that, like, conflicting. Then say, like, she vanishes or something. Like, she vanishes, like, goes off to fight Ballas of, like, sister, like, Lotus, you're alright. Like, I know what I have, and she doesn't even look at either of them and goes, I know what I have to do. Fucking uses her Eidolon shit, pushes past them and flies out. And the Drifter and Era are like, I guess maybe, like, while the Drifter's distracted, Era picks them up by the neck. Goes like, like, thanks for letting your guard down. Like, thanks for doing that. Oh, man. It's like, oh, like, now look what you've done. But at least I'll have dealt with one problem today or something. And then we get that whole, like, shaking hands shit with the Operator and Drifter, and then we get the Void powers. And then, having gained the Void powers, the Drifter is then able to fight off Era, like, forcing him sort of into submission. But then the Drifter shows mercy of, like, I don't have time to deal with this. Like, I don't have time to deal with this right now. Like, sort of like almost hinting like they know, like the Drifter knows what they need to do now or something. Like in terms of the timeline. It's weird. Like sort of like they have to return to the Zariman, sort of. And this, I don't want, no. Like they have to return to the Zariman. Like, I don't have time for this. Remember that I spared you. Also, if you could. I don't have time for this. Remember what I've done. Remember what I spared you. Also, if you could, can you fix up Ordis real quick? Because in the, like, kerfuffle with Lotus and Era, he gets killed. That'd be fucking funny. But I feel like that's a little out of place. For just, remember what I've done for you. Also, can you, like, fix him up while I'm gone? Thank you. Bye. And then we get the table scene or something. No, but then Era has to return to Ballas again. Fuck. Okay, so. Give it to you. Yeah, I sort of like that. Obviously, I can erase and go back if I don't like it, essentially. So, we're going to continue. So, Era and the Drifter fight. Like, they're trying to go for the shard. So, like, at one point, like, Drifter loses a Nadaruk, so they pull out the Sirocco. Like, that'd be cool. Like, oh my god, that'd be so cool. Like, he knocks out the Nadaruk, so we run into the ship, and then, like, Era just comes down, like, into the ship like a spider. Like, where'd you go, little Tenno? Or some such thing, as we pull out the Sirocco. Like, that would be fucking sick. I'm a little warm, so I'm gonna turn that. Fight in the clearing of the settlement. Mint. Era, like, yeah, the Drifter and Era are pretty much evenly matched. With the Drifter using the Nadaruk, but they still lack their void powers. So that's why, like, once they lose a Nadaruk, it's fuck. Like, this fight continues. Yeah, this fight continues with Era managing to knock the Nadaruk out of the Drifter's hands and into the waters near the orbiter or landing craft. No, orbiter. I did a double the. Okay. Out. Oh, it's of the, and I typed out the. Okay, I see. Here's the orbiter. The Drifter retreats back into the orbiter and pulls out their Sirocco as Era menacingly stalks into halls of the Tenno's home. Which I think would just be, like, obviously, this is a huge, like, this is, like, my story. Like, would DE do this? Like, realistically, this would be a lot of work. It'd be a full, like, it'd be extra, like, it'd be an entire, like, more cutscenes, more fights, like, it'd be a lot. Like, I bet if my suggestions happened, the new war probably would have came out, like, this month or something. Halls at the Tenno home. Yeah, both of them are trying, like, both of them are trying to get the Archon Shard, essentially. Like, Drifter is trying to keep the Archon Shard away from Era and get it to Lotus. And it's difficult. Like, protect Lotus, also protect the Archon Shard because they need it. Yeah. Drifter is trying to keep both the Archon Shard and Lotus out of Era's and clutches, while Era concerned about killing the Drifter, taking Lotus back with him to Ballas. Okay. Him to Ballas. Yeah, the fight leads, like, unintentionally, like, there's not a lot of room where you can go on the Orbiter, leads to the transference room where Lotus resides. Like, it'd be this, like, interesting fight sequence of, like, Era's going, like, Era is trying to kill the Drifter, take Lotus back. And Era knows the Drifter is not going to stop fighting until basically they're dead. And the Drifter is trying, like, hey, I'm going to kill you. Like, sort of like, I need to, like, kill you to keep you away. Like, you can't have the shard because I need that to heal her. You can't have her either because I'm trying to heal her. Like, it's a weird mixed match of that. Yeah, so during this fight, the shard knocked over near Lotus, who absorbs it, restoring her form enough to leave the cradle. Confused, she stands above the fight. Era and the Drifter turn in shock to her floating form. Yeah, so Era, sister. And then Drifter is... You're okay? And Lotus is just like, what the fuck is happening? Essentially. How many words are we at? I'm just curious. Nearly 3,000. Cool beans. Okay. Yeah, sister. Like, you're okay. And then she just floats there. Oh man, how do I like, and because it is a thing of Lotus being like, no, come on. Come on. Oh no, I think I know what song I'm like thinking of. Like, there's a one song that's stuck in my head right now. I think it's Crystallize? Yeah, there it is. This song has been stuck in my head for the past few minutes. Yeah, so like, oh man, you're okay. Yeah, it's like, oh, where's Ortis in all this? Good question. He's hiding. I had a darker thought. Oh god. Just keep in mind, this is a mature game. This game is rated M for mature, so I can do this. Theoretically. Uh, just a tiny bit of Ortis death, you know. You're okay. Like Lotus. Yeah, Lotus just floats there. Like, no. Like, you're okay. Yeah, like, sister, you're okay. Yeah, Lotus floats there saying nothing. Saying nothing. Yeah, Era. Like, sister, come back with me. Me. I can make you whole. Or, doesn't Ballas say that later? We can make our family whole again. And then Drifter is just her family is like she chose the Tenno as her family. Like Tenno. Zariman, all that? She chose the Tenno as her family. So, and then Lotus cuts in, or Eidolon Lotus. So we get that, like, Tenno? Then she snaps. Lies! Like, Tenno? Like, Zariman. All that! Like, because it is that, I don't know, like, Tenno. Lies. Like, family? Tenno? Lies! And then she flies, like, just flies out. Like, family? Tenno? Lies. Oh man, because it's sort of weird. Like, this is the one, like, lingering question of, like, how does the Lotus, like... Like, she asks, like... Yeah, because, like, she takes off. Like, she stands still. It's like she recognizes the operator. Like, I don't know what I am, but I know what I must do. It's, like, so weird. Like... Maybe not that, but, like, like, we can make our... Like, sister, come back to me. We can make our family whole again. Like, she chose the Tenno as her family. Like... Tenno? I know what I must... Maybe, like, just cutting that out of, like, just the... Tenno? I know what I must do. And she just goes. She's... Because... I know what I must do. Sort of cutting out all that stuff. And she just flies out. So, like, Lotus... using her Eidolon powers... leaves the Orbiter. With Era and the Drifter just standing there. So, like, sort of the fight has sort of paused because they're just standing there like, what the fuck just happened? Essentially. Yeah, that needs another comma. So basically this fight stopped because they're just like, what happened? Where is she going? What is she doing? Oh man. Oh man, that'd be I think I've thought of a way that this would make sense. Like, they're standing there. Like, they still want to kill each other. Like, that hasn't passed. It's like they're standing there. Ortis, who was hiding before, seizes Tunity and tries to attack Era. But, like, Ortis just going, like, you get off my ship, you mangy sentient! Or something. Or like just typical Ortis fashion, you know? But like, also, God, it's like we all like per the fight, like fighting an Archon and an Era back to back. The Drifter would be tired. Like fuck. Drifter standing there. Oh man, this no wait, give me a second. I had a thought. So Era, like whispering to himself. I can't go back empty-handed. Handed. Like basically if she hands herself over, like I'm useless. Because he didn't do it. Era didn't do it, technically. It was an accident. God, it's weird. Ow! It's God, to make some of these like, oh man. That's what we're here for. It's like a writer's workshop of, I can't go back empty-handed, but maybe I don't have to. So, Era takes his chance while the Drifter is stunned and exhausted from fighting an Archon and him back to back. He attempts to grab a hold. The Drifter. Ortis seeing this. While he was hiding before. Seizes his opportunity and tries to save the Drifter. Like, oh man, this is getting, oh man. Tries to save the Drifter. Era takes hold of Ortis's sentinel form. And the Drifter is left helpless as they watch Era crush their beloved Cephalon before tossing scraps aside. Oh man. Okay, we're getting to the fun part of this story. The Drifter takes out their Sirocco. God, how do you spell that? Sirocco once more. Attempts to fire on Era. He dodges the shot. And pushes the gun out of their hands, scattering onto the orbiter floor. Scattering across the orbiter floor. Oh man, this is, it's fine. So like, yeah, obviously, sort of interesting to see how it's come from like a summary to like, well, now I'm like, I have to write the scene of this is what happens, this is what, like, I have to go like specifically, this happens, this happens, this happens. Okay, so this will do, this goes here, I think. This goes here, so like this will be later, we'll return to this line. Era grabs the Drifter by the throat, lifting them off the ground. At least, at least I could solve one issue today. Solve one problem today. Or at least I can get rid of one problem today. There we go. Rid of one problem today. So the Drifter is being choked out. That's how you spell that. And they attempt to use like any void power. Yeah. Now, how does this happen? That they get some... Yes, the handshake. Yeah, they're being choked out. The handshake happens. And then suddenly Lotus is like... Okay, it's weird. It's weird even in the quest how this happens. Attempts to use their void powers. But nothing happens. The screen. Does it go like dark? Or does it go like white? It goes white. Goes white as they are lifted even further off the ground. Yeah, at least I can... Oh yeah, at least I can get rid of one problem today. Don't worry. I'll make sure it hurts. No, I'll make sure... Oh, I'll make sure it hurts. Okay. Now we get the handshake scene. So, the scene cuts back to the Zariman 10-0. 0 with the operator. The man in the wall is still offering the lotuses. If you didn't catch it, when the man in the wall is like offering, he's holding Lotus's hand in his. Just really quick thing of like to notice. Okay. There, the lotuses hand out to them. Operator looks back in fear at the barricade as the screaming howls get closer. They reach out after a few moments of consideration and take the hand. Yeah, so then it's this weird like timeline converging scene of like the void. Different versions. Operator die. It's not clear if this is like different timelines or if these are like, oh, this is like all the times our operator has died. Until it culminates into the two timelines. The one powers the operator to the one who took the deal, and the one who didn't. Okay, actually this should also be a second because it's technically a new character. Operator, it's a character switch. God, we're at fucking nearly 7 pages. Jeez. Okay. Screen goes right. Yeah. They shake hands. The screen goes white once again. Ballast. What am I saying? Ballast. Era. Because it's still it's weird in the quest because in the quest itself, Lotus is choking the Drifter, and then suddenly they're like back a few feet. It's weird. It's fucking weird. Like when we return and then they do the beam attack, it's weird. Like that's not explained how Lotus lets them go. It's I don't know, it's interesting. Oh, but we're getting there. Because at least I want to get to the scene of where Era sort of makes his decision to go against Ballast. So I want like that final like snap of Era going, this isn't worth it, fuck this. Yeah, Era, I guess we can follow, is standing back from the Drifter. Who is standing across the room from him. So like just that little Easter egg of like, okay, this is the same thing. Like Era almost like is recoiling. Like Era is recoiling almost in shock, almost in horror. Like Drifter. Yeah, oh my gosh. The Drifter inspects their hands, which are flowing with void energy. Like void energy is swirling around their hands. Era snaps out of his trance. And they fight once more. This time with the newly gifted powers of the void. The Drifter corners Era into submission. Like before before taking the final blow, the Drifter stops. How do I word this of like, it doesn't come across as cheap that the Drifter's like sparing him? Because I assume like during the fight they'd be like yelling at each other. Of like, all you care about is your Narmer Empire now. Like you don't pretend like you care about her. It's like, she's my sister, of course I care. That's why I'm doing this. I don't care for Ballast. Like, sort of thing. Like, I did at first, but now I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, the Drifter stops. So then we get that moment of like, oh man, how do I word? I want to like word this so it doesn't feel like cheap. Of like Drifter just sparing him. Like this is interesting to do. Yeah, the Drifter stops. Oh, I know how. It's like basically saying like Era going, why? Era, why? Kill me. That's what you want, right? End me. You won. Drifter. No. I'm not a monster. Not like you. I don't need to kill you to get what I want. But like, does the Drifter really want Lotus back? Get what I need. To get what I need. Then you are a fool. Maybe. Maybe I am. I'm going to get her back. Unlike you. I'm going to get her back. And I guess we just sort of, oh man. But like, how does Era, like, it's sort of the thing of now Era's just in the orbiter. God, now it's the question of how does Era get out of the orbiter, get back to Ballas? Like, obviously he has his own, like, ship and stuff, but... Because he's got to get back to Ballas. To report, like, oh, Lotus, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, I already know. You did well. Tenno! Sort of thing. Like you, I'm gonna get her back. Now go crawling back to your Golden Lord. And remember that I chose to spare you. Era leaves. Era leaves and the Drifter. Like, oh man. Yeah. Oh man. But we can't have... Because in this part of the quest, Lotus just leaves. And then we just get Ballas and Era. Because Lotus is going after Ballas now. The Drifter starts picking up pieces of Ordis. Aww. Because, like, there's a weird thing, like, in the Duvir paradox of, like, oh, your Warframes are fine, Ordis is fine. It's like, how? Yeah, Drifter. Besides, I have something I can't be late for. Neat. To be late. So this will be like while picking up pieces of Ordis. So besides, I have someone important to meet. Like they're saying to themselves, and I can't afford to be late. So this will be tying into like, okay, how come the Drifter's on the Zariman now? So it'll be interesting. Like weird timey-wimey shit, but making sense of it. Okay, and then we just cut. And then this is the table for 2 scene. Actually, no, this would be Act 3 now. Yeah, because I feel like this would be enough to be like, yeah, we're in Act 3. Like, yeah. Definitively, we're Act 3. Like, instead of the 3 Archon fights, we get Archon, Era. We do all that. And then we get to Act 3, where we get the 3rd Archon fight. And then Ballas and all that. So, like, Act 3 will be the shortest, technically. Unless you want to technically say, this is part of Act 3. like where the Era fight is. Like I'll have to think about it, like of where the official cutoff is for like Act 1 and Act 2. No, I think that'd be good of like yeah, Act 3. Or maybe we do like Act 3 and then technically speaking like an Act 4 is upon us. Like do instead of like it doesn't have to be 3 acts. I don't know. Like Act 3, the final showdown or something. Okay. Ow! So cutscene opens on Balus's throne. Throne room as he once again surveys his empire through the little like globe. Like he turns to Era, goes, "Nice work. I didn't think you had it in you." Still doesn't explain how she got away. Era walking in like it is her. Like it is her. Like yeah. So on one of the planets, a glowing beacon is shown. Lotus. Era. Yeah, Era walks into the room. And Balus doesn't even acknowledge his presence. Because he's a fucking asshole. I can spell presence. No, I cannot. Era. It is her. I am certain. Yeah, because in this scene it's like, but of course your Archons have her. Let me see this dialogue here. Fast forward, come on, where's the scene? It's her, I'm certain. Yeah, but of course your Archons have her. Which wouldn't make sense, because he didn't send the Archons after her. And yet, do not have her. Yeah, so it's like, and yet you do not have her. Yeah, Tenno. Like, what did you... Oh, man. And then... Like, oh, man. How do I word this? No, because I want to save that till later. And yet you do not have her. A success, and yet still. And yet still. Another overwhelming failure. Then we get this line. So I can get that. So Era cuts in with, not Era, Balus. Yeah, maybe if I turn you into an Archon, maybe then you'll finally have some more use to me. And Balus just continuing, like Era is just standing there in the Era is standing there, like in another like beat, like in horror, like he finally sees that his father was right. He is nothing more a puppet. Also, this is the wrong. It should be this. Nope, this. Yeah, Balus. Yeah, like maybe, yeah, I love this. Maybe if I turn you into an Archon, maybe then you'll finally have some more use to me. Then, okay. This is a big, like, scene of, like, now we're, like, getting everything set up. But, yeah, Ballas. Maybe. That's not such a bad idea. And then it's like the idea gets cut off like 10-0. 10-0. Like, even hell was not hot enough to split them. Hell was not hot enough to split them. That's not how you spell that. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Okay. We're still going. And then Era just going like, hey, what does it matter? We won. Does it matter? So this is direct. You have won. Yeah, so this is being taken directly from the quest, which is fine. To your glory. That's how you spell that. All who live, bios and not, kneel before you. Yes, but not them. Or it's just, but not them. Them. Yeah, like, you see some great triumph here. Yeah. See some great triumph here. That this, okay, we're just copying what he says because it's good line. Ships. Me. Wailing freedom. Actually, no, actually, I can probably not have to type this and say like, oh, the rest of this conversation continues out the same because yeah, this conversation plays out the same. And then, okay. Yeah, we'll put that in of like, at this point, the conversation continues as it does in the quest. So just so like, I realized how much I have to like actually type out of that. So now we have a little more setup on why Era turns. Like, we get a scene of him like being like, no, like, hey, like, this is like, we brought peace to the system, like, what? And we get the second Archon shards. Yeah, so like, Era hasn't won anything, he's a puppet. Era like, we get payoff to like, oh, Era figures it out. Why wouldn't he tell Ballas what they're doing? So this is where it starts diverging of like, okay, they kill the Archon and Ballas is pissed. Like, Archons are dead. Like, so he appeases them, like, saying like, hey, like, but like, he is coming, Era is coming into the room basically to like appease his anger because like, it's like, hey, like, it's not a total loss, but yeah, so like, Era like informing him like, oh, this is what they're planning to bring her back, like, so this would be a fun scene. Then returning to the camp, they get Era there because it takes a bit of time. Like, I don't like. Obviously, if Boreal's your last fight and like, oh, Era gets there, it's weird. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah. So then we get this fight of like, so this is where we've been hiding. Oh fuck! I forgot it was supposed to be like a queen. I forgot that was a queen. Now withering under the care of a child. Tell me. Then he turns to the Drifter. Tell me, Drifter. How come a rat like you who has no business messing with my affairs took down 2 Archons? They say nothing, just drawing their bow. Like, always so quick to violence. Alright then. I'll oblige. If you want your death, then I'll give it to you. Yeah, so the fight continues. So like they're yelling, like, and like as this fight is going on, like just Arrow be like, I just want my sister. It's like you, and then Drifter, like they'll be like yelling at each other essentially. So we get more of like an inside look into Era's psyche as he's starting to question Ballas. Yeah, so we get this fight. Yeah, the Archon Shard gets knocked over. Lotus gets restored. Like, are you okay? Like, sister? Like, nothing. It's like, and then Era just like pleading, like, hey, come back with me. We can make our family whole again. Drifter just, she chose the Tenno as her family. Lotus going, Tenno? I know what I must do. Like, move. I know what I must do. And like, what are they gonna do? Stop her? Yeah, she leaves. Yeah, Era just whispering to himself, like, they're standing there, like, obviously the fight, like, has paused, and it's just, I can't go back empty-handed. I need a win. Like, sort of like, maybe I don't have to. I need one victory. Yeah. He attempts to grab a hold, grabs Ordis, and just crushes him, tossing him aside, and grabs the Drifter. So we get that emotional moment there. Yeah, they take out their Sirocco and attempt to fire. Yeah, they attempt to fire, and then Era grabs my bad. Let's get that off the ground. Yeah, at least I can get rid of one problem today. Don't worry, I'll make sure it hurts. Yeah, they attempt to use void powers, but nothing happens. Screen goes white as they're lifted off, and then we get the shake hands scene. And then Era standing back from the Drifter, who's standing across the room, like, in horror of, like, what the fuck? Because we don't know what happened. Because why did the Lotus stop choking out the Drifter in the original quest? We don't know. So, what happened? What did Era see? Who knows? Yeah, the Drifter inspects their hands, which are flowing with void energy now. Because, like, this is the time, like, oh, the operator comes back. No. Because the Drifter, it's sort of weird of like, oh, I have the operator come back here. Because it's like, in the quest, it's like the Drifter and the Lotus face off with the beam, and then the operator is replaced. Maybe extend this of like, I have someone important to meet and I can't afford to be late, and then the Drifter looks over to the operator chair. Like, picks up the pieces of Ordis, and then like in a flash, like they're gone. Like after they say that, and then the operator, like they look to the chair, the weird timeline thing, like effect happens, and then the operator is like just in the chair, like, what the fuck? But then that's the question of why do they know to go to the Zariman? How do I make this line up? Because it's still not entirely sure, like, oh, the operator's back. It's like, oh, the operator's back. Lotus leaves. It's like, I know what I must do. Then why does the operator go to the Zariman that's fully coming out of the void? So this is probably needs to be expanded upon. So I'll write a little note. Needs expanded on operator stuff, I guess. I think I'm happy because we've been streaming for 3 hours. Jesus Christ. I think I'm happy with calling it here because holy fuck. I've been talking a while and I'm out of water. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I know this is a sort of different stream as we were just writing. Like, I know I said maybe Warframe after. It's been 3 hours. I would like some food. But we wrote... Oh, geez. Well, let's do a total word count is 3,400. But in 3 hours, we wrote how many words? Like, let me see. Because where did we start? Enemy of enemies. Drifter camp. We started here. So, word count, 2,150 words today. Whoops. But yeah, thank you all so much. I know this is sort of weird. Like, it's a different stream than I normally do versus doing like gameplay, but I think it's just fun to do of like, hey, I've been like writing. I mean, it's Warframe, so why not? Like, hopefully maybe tomorrow, like finishing this. Cause like, I mean, we got like through the bulk of like my rewrite and we got through the bulk of it of like, basically my biggest issue was Era's turn. So hopefully this is like this starting to make more sense of like having these extra scenes and fights. And I think it'd be just cool to have. Like some of the stuff, like I still have to iron out of like, okay, how does the operator like get back to their ship? Like, because they trade places. And then the operator goes to Zimmerman. It's just weird, but probably some of this stuff can be like explained in Duviri, which isn't out yet. But yeah, I think with that we will end. So let me change my music. Let me throw it to our ending screen. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. This, as I said, just different than my like normal stream. But I mean, I liked it. Just 3 hours of just talking, like taking you through my thoughts while writing and like ironing out this timeline. But yeah, I will hopefully see you all again tomorrow. Most likely just finishing up this. Yeah, finishing up this. Hopefully finishing up this fucking script, I guess you could call it, or rewrite. And then probably more Warframe and Hollow Knight. But yeah, I will see you all most likely tomorrow once again. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever. The VOD will be up after this, I believe. And like, if you're new, follow the Twitch channel or my Twitter to know when I go live next. I'm also, because I'm uploading the VODs to YouTube now, I'm thinking about making that public or not. We'll see. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever. And as always, remember to be kind. Bye-bye.